Don't be sad, or don't be angry, or don't be scared. We often say such things. It doesn't really help. You can't simply wipe away someone's feeling just by saying, don't feel sad, or be strong and courageous. Although we have all probably heard 100 of times about the vital importance of listening to others before we respond, it's amazing how much work there is still to be done to make this as a habit, conscious habit. You might now know the book by Dr. Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Have you? I think if you have not read it, I wish you would take time and share it with your family. One of the effective habits he identifies is seek to understand before you are understood. In other words, listen first. Try to understand the other person before you start talking about what you think or you feel. Saint Francis of Assisi's beautiful prayer also says that, O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we truly receive. Listening to others first goes far beyond being simply polite or considerate. It actively contributes to satisfying, fruitful interactions. Listening moves us closer to each other. It creates relationship. Don't we all want to be heard and understood? And it saves time and stress. Just as we want to be heard and understood, others also like to be heard and be understood. Only then communication can happen. Listening carefully will save you so much of time. Think of how much time gets used up in sorting out misunderstandings just because you didn't listen properly or the other person didn't listen properly. Apart from the tensions that arise between people who don't feel heard by each other. So often, even if we are not actually interrupting a speaker, we are itching for a moment when we can say what is in our mind. Response predominates. Dr. Stephen Covey pointed out that most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. In conversations, people so often jump in to tell their own story instead of hearing the other out. Oh, the same thing happened to me. And off they go, telling about an experience that was similar. And all the focus shifts to that person and their story. And the one who wanted to be heard is left high and dry. In heartful communication, we call these interruptions circuit breakers. Remember this word, circuit breakers, because they often disrupt the connection between people. It's almost like this, you have beautiful air conditioning working in your living room or bedroom, and there's a circuit breaking. What happens? You don't enjoy that room anymore. See? Similarly, when circuit breakers somehow triggers during communications, during discussions, it also interrupts the flow of our discussion. We offer unwanted advice in so many diverse ways. My Adiguru Pujya Lalaji Maharaj gave us one of the most singular principles of life that he himself exemplified with. He said, I quote, "Never offer advice unless invited, otherwise it is likely to yield bad results. If you find any fault with anybody, pray for his freedom from it." Unquote. So here is his guidance. Instead of giving advice, criticizing, or talking about someone behind their back, we can offer prayer. Most of us are very, very good at fixing or giving advice, and we are not at all good at simply listening. Like when we tell the person who is speaking to us not to feel what they're actually feeling. Don't be sad, or don't be angry, or don't be scared. We often say such things. It doesn't really help. You can't simply wipe away someone's feeling just by saying, don't feel sad, or be strong and courageous. Many of these circuit breakers come out of wanting to settle someone's problem to make it better. But often people need to be fully heard first. Someone told me how, when one of their twins had died, several people responded saying, "At least you have the other one." It's unfortunate though. Empathy doesn't begin with the words. At least. The lady really needed empathy and understanding for her loss of one of the twins. Sometimes maintaining silence, not a single word spoken, can grant someone a heartfelt satisfaction. For example, attending someone's funeral and later on visiting that family every evening. Speak no word, just be there. That's more than enough.